Okay, so I think we should start our class now. Okay, can I have Adam please read the doa?
Yes, teacher.
Alright.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. O Allah, honor us by the light of understanding and take us out from the darkness of doubt and upon us the doors of your knowledge. O Allah, open your wisdom and spread to us from the treasures of your mercy. Please open our hearts and minds, receive knowledge, bless us and guide us in our quest for success. O Allah, open our heart, make our work easy for us, and remove the impediment from our speech, so that they may understand our speech. O Allah, nothing is easy except what you have made easy. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Okay. Okay, so today, as promised, okay, we are going to do the revision for from 4, chapter 12, which is the coordination and response. Okay, I'm sharing with you. Sekejap. Tak ada sekejap Okay. Kenapa tak ada? Sekejap tau. Okay. Okay, so this is chapter 12. Okay, chapter 12. So for today, I'm going to focus 12. Okay. Okay, tak apa. Okay, before that, what are the terms that you usually found in this chapter? What are the terms? What are the words that you usually found? Okay, when we are talking about chapter 12, coordination and response, selalu apa benda yang korang familiar, perkataan-perkataan dalam this chapter?
Stimulus.
Stimulus. Okay, stimulus is, what is stimulus? What is stimulus, class? What is stimulus? Tak tahu ke? Okay, here. Okay, kalau tengok kat sini ni, the stimulus. Okay, so the plural is stimuli. So any change or the change that simulates the response. While the sensitivity is the ability to detect changes in environment and respond to these changes. That is the sensitivity. Okay, and the stimulus, bahasa Melayu dia adalah rangsangan. So we have two, okay, external stimulus and also the internal stimulus. So external stimulus is the stimulus that coming out from outside of our body. Okay, given example here is the light, sound, smell, taste, surrounding temperature, pressure, and also touch. Okay, while the internal stimulus, the stimulus that is coming from our body. Given example here are the blood osmotic pressure, changes in body temperature, and also changes in blood sugar level. Okay, ni ada 3 benda ni, the one that you selalu jumpa. Okay, the first one is the receptor. Receptor ni apa? Kalau bahasa Melayu pun receptor jugalah. Okay, that is the special sensory cell that can detect the stimuli and convert into the nerve impulse. That is the receptor. sensory cell. Okay, then we have the effector. Okay, if the receptor is the one that is detect the stimulus, lepas tu dia convert into nerve impulse. Effector is the part of our body that responds to the uh, yang memberi respon bertindak balas terhadap the sensory cell tadi. While the brain kat tengah-tengah is the integration center that translate the nerve impulse tadi kan by the receptor tadi and coordinate response. So the effector dia akan buat whatever the brain told the effector to do. Okay, boleh faham tak yang ni? This is actually the revision saja kan, you should know lah. You should know. So, nak skip to this one. Korang ingat lagi kan ni kan korang? Ingat lagi tak? Okay. If I'm not mistaken, last year we have group discussion kan? If I'm not mistaken, Adam's group ke buat the receptor, 6 types of receptor. Betul tak Adam? Betul. Do you still remember? Can you recall the 6 receptor? Ingat tak? Siapa lagi in your group?
Yang like tak semua tu.
Tak semua. Yeah. What is the name of the 6 receptor? Okay. Macam ni. Okay. The stimulus is the light. Okay. The light is the stimulus. So what is the receptor? Nama receptor that detect light.
Photoreceptor.
Okay, good. That is photoreceptor. So the first one is photoreceptor. Lagi, what is the receptor that can detect chemical substance?
Chemoreceptor. Chemoreceptor.
Yes,
Teacher,
Yeah.
we actually made an acronym for all of this, but it's in DM.
Dah buat dah?
It is
Oh, pagi tadi.
yeah.
Okay. I am
pagi
glad.
tadi Mak cari barang lagi.
I'm glad if you want to share with your class. Ke tu?
Teacher, we made it together, I think.
Oh, okay. So, can somebody just read your apa tu? Mnemonic
Can, teacher?
Okay,
It's
Farzana.
Pagi tadi, Mak cari barang niaga.
Pagi tadi Mak cari barang niaga. So, P is
Photoreceptor.
photoreceptor. T
Thermoreceptor.
thermoreceptor. Pagi tadi Mak M
M is
mechano.
mechanoreceptor.
Okay,
Then
mechanoreceptor. Pagi
Cari
tadi Mak
C
cari
is
chemo.
chemoreceptor.
Okay,
And then barang would be baroreceptor.
yes.
And then niaga would be nociceptor.
Okay, nociceptor. Okay, good, very good. So, make sure that you memorize all the 6 receptors. Okay, pagi tadi Mak cari barang niaga. Okay, teacher nak tanya, baroreceptor, what does baroreceptor can detect? Baro,
Pressure.
pressure. Nociceptor, pain. Pagi tadi Mak cari barang niaga nosi. T thermo, of course lah, the temperature, right? Okay, so here is the type of receptors that we have discussed before yang tadi lah. So we have photoreceptor, dia akan detect the light stimulus, thermo, change in temperature, chemo, can detect the change in chemical substance, baroreceptor, change in pressure, mechano, touch and pressure, nociceptor is pain. Okay, ingat dah ni korang ni. Okay. This braille system. So, can you think of what is the receptor that the blind person or blind impaired person use? Which type of receptor? Dia pakai braille system.
Is it mechanoreceptor?
Mechano. Which? Alamak.
Touch and pressure.
Yes. That is alamak, I'm not sure kenapa dia tak detect. Okay, so it is actually mechanoreceptor. Okay, 12.2, the nervous system. Okay, can you recall what are the system that in the nervous system? So for your information, nervous system is divided into two. Dia ada dua dekat dalam tu. The first one is the
Central.
central nervous system, and the second one is the
Peripheral.
peripheral nervous system. So can you name the organ in the central nervous system? The organs that involve in the central nervous system.
Brain and spinal cord.
Yes, brain and spinal cord. While the peripheral system, the one that is dekat sisi-sisi dia lah. How I memorize it, kita buat macam ni tau. So for central nervous system, we know the organs are the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, this is the lollipop. Kan? Kita lollipop nama. Okay. While the peripheral system, the one that is macam di sisi dia lah. Macam mana? Okay. So kalau kita tengok the peripheral nervous system, dia divided into two. The first one is the somatic nervous system and the other one is the automatic nervous system. So what is the automatic nervous system? Automatic, so kita kena ingat dia jadi dengan sendiri without it doesn't need the brain to think what the action should we take ke apa macam tu. So the autonomic nervous system, it controls the involuntary action. Tindakan luar kawal, which is the beating of our heart or the pumping of our heart. Can you name me another thing that this autonomic nervous system do selain heartbeat?
Sneezing.
Yes, sneezing, sneeze.
Vasoconstriction.
What is vasoconstriction?
Not sure, teacher.
What is vasoconstriction? Vasoconstriction and vasodilation. Okay, vasoconstriction is happen at your arteriole wall, dinding dia tu. Vasoconstriction maksudnya dia cardiac muscle tu, vasoconstriction dia kecut, pengecutan arteriole. So what will happen? Nanti kita tengok dalam action. Apa kita panggil? Contoh, our heart is beating so fast semasa kita buat vigorous activity. Kan dia nak balik ke normal heartbeat. What are the steps that will follow? Lagi, bersin, our heartbeat.
Peristalsis.
Yes, peristalsis process that is we cannot control. Okay, and the somatic nervous system will regulate or control all the control action. Taking the object, for example, running. Okay, so ahli dia, kenapa dia pusing? Okay, for peripheral nervous system, we have the cranial nerve, sensory receptor and also the spinal nerve. Okay, cranial nerve is the nerve saraf berada pada otak. Here dekat sini. Otak kan, so ada nerve dekat otak. Okay, while dekat spinal cord, we have the spinal nerve. Macam ni lah lebih kurang. And also the sensory receptor. Okay, tugas or the function of the peripheral nervous system is they connect sensory receptor deria receptor deria and the is not receptor yang korang, this is effector to the central nervous system. Okay, that is the function of peripheral nervous system. Boleh tak ni? Boleh?
Boleh, teacher.
Okay, then we are looking at the brain. So there are 5 parts of the brain which carry out specific function. Okay, first we are looking at the cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum is the largest and the most complex parts of the brain. And it is the center to interpret information from receptor and control the movement of skeletal muscle in voluntary action. Okay, so dia adalah the center to process the information. Okay, we get this. What are we going to do? Okay, dia yang akan suruh apa-apalah. Control the movement of skeletal muscle in voluntary action. Tindakan yang dikawal. And it is also the site of intelligent learning, speech, remembering, and reasoning. Okay, if that person is having some speech problem, so the problem one is the cerebellum part of his brain. Okay, boleh? Okay, this is the cerebrum. Okay, now we are looking to the second part, which is the cerebellum. So cerebellum is coordinate muscle contraction during body movement and controls body balancing. Okay, cerebellum dia duduk kat bawah. Here is the cerebellum. Okay, now the third one is the medulla. Medulla oblongata kat sini So it controls involuntary action. Okay, given example here is heartbeat, blood circulation, breathing. Okay, and as reflex center, blinking, sneezing, and coughing. Okay, at first, maybe you can control your blinking. Boleh tak? Kita control mata kita. Okay, blink. Okay, blink. Okay, stop. Blink, blink, blink. Tapi, after a while, you are blinking without without your intention to blink, betul tak? Sama macam breathing. Betul tak ni korang?
Betul,
Betul,
teacher.
teacher.
Betul, teacher.
Cuba kita tahan. Okay, tak nak blink lah. Boleh tak? Lama-lama dia akan blink juga kan? So that is the reflex center. Macam mana pun, okay. Sekejap. What is the difference between reflex dengan involuntary action ni? What is the difference actually?
Is it faster, teacher?
Which one is the faster? Faster?
Involuntary action is faster.
That one,
I think reflex kalau macam ada benda ganggu, kita reflect by sneezing lah, coughing lah. Macam
yes.
benda tu, and the involuntary is like natural lah. Breathing.
Yes, the one that we cannot control at all. Heartbeat. Boleh tak? Okay, stop. Boleh?
Cannot.
Cannot. Betul. Breathing. Mungkin you can hold for a while, tapi you can keep on breathing without you control it. That is involuntary.
Mati-mati.
Betul. Reflex center pula, maybe ada the stimulus. For example, sneezing. There is some dust ke dekat hidung. So kita akan sneeze. Coughing tu. Blinking ataupun kita ada some object dekat dengan mata kita akan terpejam atau blink. Reflex center. Okay, kejap lagi kita nak tengok the reflex action. Okay, reflex action kita tengok sekejap lagi. Okay, lepas tu we have number 4 is the hypothalamus. Okay, selalu hypothalamus it is play an important part in the maintaining our homeostasis. Okay, the center for regulating hunger, thirst, body temperature, and also water balance. Controls the release of several hormones from the pituitary gland. Okay, so ini adalah hypothalamus. Bawah dia sikit is the pituitary gland. Okay, this pituitary gland adalah gland yang paling utama lah juga kita boleh kata, because it secretes hormone that influence other gland to secrete other hormones. Okay, dia mengeluarkan hormon yang mempengaruhi kelenjar lain untuk menghasilkan hormon juga. And then it control body functions such as growth. This one ada hormon osmoregulation and also reproduction. Dia ada kaitan semua. Okay, clear this part? Okay, this one. Spinal cord. Spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord. Spinal cord ni dia duduk dekat mana korang?
In the back of your body.
Kita panggil backbone kan, tulang belakang. So if you remember, your spinal cord, tulang belakang ni dia macam ni lah. Jadi segmented, betul tak? Cuba korang rasa dekat tulang korang yang belakang tu, dia ada segmen-segmen, betul tak? Yang ni kita belajar dekat chapter mana korang? Chapter 14 Okay, so it is situated within the vertebral column. Inilah yang seketul-seketul ni, yang satu-satu segmen ni, and surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid. And it is made up of white matter and grey matter. So dekat sini, which one is the white? Dah tulis dah. So kadang-kadang buku teks korang, dia lebih bentuk, lebih kurang macam ni kan? Betul tak? Ada lubang kat tengah. Yang butterfly-like ini, butterfly-like shape ini adalah grey matter. Yang dekat luar ni is the white matter. So grey matter comprises cell bodies. Ingat lagi tak cell body pada neuron? Ingat lagi tak? You still remember? Can you recall it? Okay, contoh Okay, so kat sini ada. So which one is the cell body? Cell body yang mana korang? Siapa tahu?
The head, teacher, like the star.
Yes, yang macam kepala, yang macam rambut ni. Okay, this is the cell body. So ni apa ni? Macam rambut-rambut ni. This is the
Dendrite.
dendrite. Okay. Lepas tu yang bawah ni, yang macam segmen-segmen ni, dekat dalam ni adalah axon. Axon. Ya Allah, kenapa ni? Sekejap, I'm not sure what happened with my pen. Axon. And this axon, okay, it is covered with the myelin sheath. Okay ni, M1 je tau. Makanlah. Okay, white matter consists of axons covered in myelin sheath. Okay, kalau kita tengok kat sini. Okay, sekejap lagi. Gambar lagi jelas. So the function of spinal cord, it process few types of sensory information and send responses through the motor neuron. Masuk from the sensory, process here, ada lagi satu to the effector. And it control reflex action. Spinal cord, dia control reflex action. And it also connect brain with the peripheral nervous system. So in reflex action, okay, untuk sebagai apa, recall balik, reflex action is the action yang tidak melalui otak. Dia terus je pada spinal cord saja, dia tak sampai otak. So arahan-arahan is coming from the spinal cord. Okay, so, okay. Tengok Okay, here is the muscle. This is the sensory neuron. Okay, sensory neuron. Okay, this is the dorsal root ganglion. Ingat lagi tak? Okay, atas kanan, atas kiri, dorsal root. Okay, yang bawah, ventral root. Okay, what is the dorsal root ganglion? So ganglion ini ada sensory neuron cell bodies are clustered in the dorsal root ganglion. Sebab itulah dia macam bengkak, dia macam swell kat situ. Dia ada cell body ni. Okay, ni adalah dia punya axon. Okay, contains the axon of the sensory neuron that sends nerve impulse to the spinal cord from the sensory receptor. So daripada sensory receptor, siapa yang bawa? The neuron, which is the sensory neuron. So dekat the one that is swell, we call it dorsal root ganglion. Sampai sini. So here is the dendrit. Dia akan pass pada relay neuron. Okay. Ya Allah, pergi sana. Okay, relay neuron. Lepas tu dia akan process, interpret the data, the whatever they get daripada sensory neuron. Lepas tu dia akan pass to the motor neuron. Ni motor neuron. This is the cell body. Ini axon dia sampai ke effector, which is the muscle cell lah dekat sini. Effector. Okay. So dekat grey matter dia akan ada cell body dan juga axon. While the white matter memang hanya akan ada axon, myelin coated axon. Okay, ingat tu. Boleh ingat tak ni? Okay, neuron and synapse. I'm going to skip this one. Kita nak tengok. Okay, involuntary action. Okay, voluntary and involuntary action. Okay, voluntary action, tindakan yang kita boleh kawal. Okay, the similarity is the both action involve stimulation, impulse, neuron and effector organ. Differences. This one. Actions that we are conscious of and done on our will, while involuntary action that occurs automatically and occurs without us being conscious. Tanpa sedar dia jadi macam tu je. Involve the somatic nervous system, involve the autonomous nervous system, peripheral nervous system controlled by cerebral cortex pada otak, and this one controlled by the medulla oblongata and also the hypothalamus. Involve the reaction of the skeletal muscle, involve the reaction of smooth muscle and glands. Okay, teacher nak tengok focus on involuntary action. Okay, for example, dia bagi kat sini, the stimulus is the, apa ni? Heat Heat. Okay, the stimulus dia pegang this, apa ni? Dapur punya ni. Lepas tu respond, immediately draw his hand. Okay, for immediate spontaneous action, touch hot things or prick finger, fast response of stimulus without being controlled by the brain. What happen kalau brain yang control this type of response? Okay, I'm feeling hot and now I'm in pain. What I'm going to do? Nak buat apa? Nak draw tangan ke? Nak buat apa? Kalau macam ni, what will happen to you? If you think first,
Terbakar.
terbakar. So dia akan injured lah kan. So the pathway involved known as reflex arc. So reflex arc adalah jalan macam mana daripada stimulus sampailah ke action. So dia akan involve 3 neurons, sensory neurons, relay neurons and also motor neurons. Kenapa dia pangkah pula ni? Okay, here is the 3 neuron reflex arc. Okay, the stimulus kat sini. Okay, stimulus, the skin in contact with a hot object. Sensory receptor detect the stimulus and trigger a nerve impulse. So, nerve impulse ni dia carry oleh siapa korang kalau dekat sini? Oh, dah cakap dah. Sini. Sensory neuron akan bawa the information. So, sensory neuron send impulse to spinal cord and transferred to relay neuron by synapse. Relay neuron in spinal cord pula, nerve impulse that dia receive tadi transferred from a relay neuron to the motor neuron. Motor neuron pula, bicep muscle receive impulse from the motor neuron and the response, muscle contracts and pulls hand away from hot object. So here is the reflex arc daripada tangan. So masuk, nampak ke ni korang? if you have your textbook with you, you can refer to page 223. Okay, page 223, that is the reflect up. Okay, this one is a quite famous question too. Okay, dia selalu tanya korang in structure, section A atau section B. Okay, so this one is 2 neuron reflex arc. Tadi 3, this one is 2. Known as knee jerk or patellar reflex. So yang ni ada 2 je. So stimulus, the hammer hits a tendon that connects the quadriceps. Sekejap bagi cikgu tengok. Apa tadi? The hammer hits a tendon that connects the quadriceps muscle, mana dekat sini? Okay. To a bone in the lower leg. So the sensory neuron send the impulse to spinal cord. So spinal cord trigger the nerve impulse to the motor neuron. So tak ada relay neuron. And the quadriceps muscles receive impulse from motor neuron. Respond dia, the muscle contracts and jerk the leg forward. So kaki akan terangkat ke atas. That is the 2 neuron reflex arc. Okay. So can you recall or can you name me the disease that is related to the human nervous system? Ingat lagi tak?
ADHD.
Siapa?
ADHD.
Yes, ADHD lagi?
Parkinson's.
Yes, Parkinson. Okay. Tu je.
Epilepsy.
Autism.
Apa dia?
Autism.
Yes, autism, epilepsy.
Akmal.
Aku malu pula dah.
Oi.
Okay. So we are done. We are done about this. So I'm going to sekejap mana ni? Stop sharing. Okay, now kita nak buat. Okay, teacher akan bagi the link. Mana ni tadi tak ingat lah. Okay, whiteboard. We are going to discuss some question. Sekejap Sekejap. Macam mana nak share ni? Sekejap. Macam mana nak share? Okay. Okay, sekejap. Whiteboard. Okay. Copy. Okay, please click the link. Okay, there is structure punya question there. Dapat tak korang? Teacher kena share. Okay, teacher share lah dekat sini. Ya. Window whiteboard. Okay, dah ke korang?
Dah, teacher.
On your own whiteboard. Tak ada pun? Okay, Okay. So first, okay, this is the question. This is section A. Section A. If I'm not mistaken, 8 marks kot. Okay, so a person accidentally touched a pin. So diagram 1.1 shows the reflect arc in the person's nervous system. So dia tercucuk pin. Write the letter R in the box nearest to the receptor cell. Okay, this one, for question A, 1, 2, 3, 1 mark each. I give you berapa minit 3 minutes sempat tak? Okay, I want you to write in which kotak lah, in which box. Number one is R in the box nearest to the receptor cell. So which one is the receptor cell? Number two, write the letter E in the box nearest to the effector cell. So which one is the effector cell? And you have to name the neuron label X. So what is the neuron? What is the X? Okay, buat dulu Do I have to push or assign you? Sebab teacher nampak macam kosong lagi your whiteboard.
Kena kot teacher.
Tekan toggle right, teacher? Toggle
Ah.
teacher whiteboard.
Dah tekan dah?
Dah teacher.
Ke I have to toggle my whiteboard? Tak kan? Saya tak ingat lah.
Maybe teacher kena push kot.
Hari tu teacher push.
I cannot remember. Okay, teacher push lah. Push to student. All pages. Okay, pushing. Dapat dah?
Dah teacher.
Alright. Nabil, saya nampak Nabil ni screen. Okay, write down your answer. Soalan satu dulu A1 tu. A1, 2, 3. Okay, I can see Adam's answer. R dah ada. Ahmed still no answer. Adam. Firdaus kosong lagi. Okay, lambat. Okay, Kamal, I can see your answer. Kamal, Mulia, Mariam. Kalai kenapa kosong ah?
Teacher, I already wrote on mine, but it's still empty.
Ya ke? Sekejap, where is you? Sudah. One. Sekejap.
Teacher, saya soalan tu saya tak nampak. Dia just kertas putih.
Siapa tu? Kalai
Ha.
That is why your sheet is so clean. Kenapa? Ahmad Somel ada dua. Kenapa Ahmad Somel ada dua?
Yang satu
Sebab
tu
terlalu
saya tengok.
comel.
So teacher tengok lagi satu tu.
Dua-dua both is empty.
Sabar, lagi satu on the
Farzana,
way. Lagi satu on the way. Sabar.
Farzana,
Sabar,
I can only see your A1 je, yang R tu saja. Firas ada R, okay, Mariam ada, neuron tak ada. Neuron label X tak ada lagi, Mariam. Kamal dah ada, Mulia, Nabil ni. One. Husna. Amma, empty lagi lah Azril tu. Dengan
saya dah
Kalai.
buat dah.
Tak nampak, Rusda pun
Sekejap,
sama. Tengok. Hi Adam. What is A3? Where is your answer, Adam? X, sensory fiber. Sensory fiber, soalan dia tanya, name the neuron label X. So what is the neuron? So neuron, there are three types only. We have the sensory neuron, relay neuron, and motor neuron. Nama still empty, Azri sama, Kalai sama. Come on. For question number 3 tu, you have to state what is X.
Oh,
Satu ni
okey,
Kamal,
okey.
mana satu E ni?
Saya ingatkan tulis sekali tu.
Tak,
Okey,
satu
okey,
kotak
faham.
je.
Okey, okey.
Satu markah kan tu. Amar comel. Kenapa ada ni pula Amar?
Saya ada masalah dengan benda ni teacher je. Dia tak cooperate. Sekejap
Okay, teacher bagi masa seminit lagi. Most of you have done.
Oh my.
Mariam relay neuron. Danny.
Teacher, kalau saya tukar kertas tak boleh teacher?
Kertas maksudnya
Saya dah-
boleh.
Saya dah nak marah ni.
S, Kalai.
Sekejap.
Itulah teacher saya pun. Sejak saya dah tahu dah.
Okay, if you have done, you can do on page 2 and 3. Page 2 and 3 boleh buat. Adam sensory fiber art. Sensory neuron. Okay, Ain. Sensory. Okay. Alicia. Sensory neuron. Okay, kita discuss For A1, okay, tulis, write the letter R in the box nearest to the receptor cell. Okay, so R. Ayolah, dia pula dah. Okay, tengok Adam lah. Okay, dekat sini Adam's answer. R dekat sini. So, betul Okay, betul R. So, number 2, write the letter E in the box nearest to the effector cell. So, E betul dekat sini. Okay, number 3, namakan neuron berlabel X. So, X nak tulis dekat bawah ni or buat dekat sini, it is both acceptable. So, make sure neuron betul lah. So, tadi just now, Ain, dia baru tambah, dia buat sensory saja. Sensory is not the correct answer. So, rugilah. So, make sure you betul lah. Teacher rasa semua betul ni. Sensory neuron, Farzana. Okay, betul. Firas tadi buat apa? Firas buat relay tadi kan Firas? Betul tak? Dia buat relay neuron. Sorry, Mariam, sorry Firas. Okay, so salah lah. It's not relay neuron, it is sensory neuron. So most of you dapat betul. Okay, now we are moving to the second page. Page kedua. Okay, saraf tunjang in the spinal cord is a part of the central nervous system. Okay, name the organ which forms the other part of the central nervous system. Okay, sambungan dia, explain why flexions are still function in a person with brain injury. Okay, that is 2 marks. So, kena ada 2 points lah. 5 minit, boleh? Cuba jawab.
Teacher, soalan ni kat mana teacher?
Tak ada ke kan? Second page. Ya ke? Oh, macam tu pula. Okay, sorry. Okay, you have to tengok screen je lah So, number 2, explain why this person will not feel any sensation of the stimulus. Okay, jawab ya. Tiga soalan comprises 4 marks. 4 marks. Yang ni soalan B. Tadi soalan A 3 marks, B 4 marks. C. A, B, C. Why Akmal is in the same page? Alisha. Amir pun page 1 lagi. The flat actions is controlled by the spinal cord. It's okay. To the okay, Farzana, you have to explain why flat action is controlled by the spinal cord. So, okay, explain why flat actions are still function in a person with brain injury. So, for the person with a brain injury, the reflex action, okay, so therefore it's sent impulse straight to the, okay, jawab dulu. Farzana. Okay, Danny is answering. Firas. Mana, where's your answer? Mariam, okay, Mulia. Because the impulse do not need to be interpreted by brain. Sebelum tu, nak cakap pasal apa? Oh, tak siap lagi. Okay, Mulia. Okay, Mulia sedang tak siap lagi. Okay. You need another point Mulia. Baru ada satu. Kamal, most sensory neurons do not pass directly to the brain. Most sensory neurons do not pass. Salah tu Kamal. Salah. Salah. Aisyah. The reflex action is an automatic response without involving the brain. It is controlled by the spinal cord. Acceptable, Aisyah? 2 marks. Dah hazan dah. Reflex actions are involuntary action. Reflex actions are controlled by spinal cord, which is not okay. 2 marks, Sophia. Sumaya tak ada lagi. 1. Rushda. Belum.
Teacher, jawapan saya nampak teacher.
Sekejap, Kalai. Mana Kalai? Brain je nampak.
Brain je, mana jawapan kamu sekejap teacher.
Teacher, page saya hilang teacher.
Siapa tu?
Ain, page saya terus hilang, saya tak boleh tulis.
Kenapa ya?
Refresh.
Cuba. Aid pun kosong. Adam
Teacher,
jawab.
saya punya hilang teacher.
So,
Saya
cuba
tekan yang minus. Saya tekan minus tu saya ingat dia pasal Zoom. Lepas tu dia pergi delete page tu.
Sama. Kalau minus tu dia akan delete. So macam mana nak buat itu? Cuba tekan tambah. Right. Adam.
Nanti dia tambah page. Dia tambah page tapi page yang kosong.
Tak ada dah. The nerve impulses are received by spinal cord. Reflex actions are involuntary action. These nerve impulses can be received by spinal cord. Can be received by spinal cord. Hai, tak habis-habis Adam ni. Hai, hai. Hai Adam. Can be received by spinal cord. Masih tak cukup je. Hello. Hello. Masih tak cukup tak Adam? Not enough point for you. Akmal, tak siap lagi. Reflex action does not require brain to produce the action. Okay, good. Ashikin 2 marks. Danny, controlled by, okay, the brain does not need to interpret neurons involved. Hence reflection, okay. Danny 2 marks. Farzana pun sama. Okay, boleh jawab yang question number 2 tu. Explain why this person will not feel any sensation of the stimulus. Dia tak boleh rasa. Amar, reflex action are involuntary action. Thus, the sensory neurons do not pass directly into the brain. Synapse in the spinal cord. Amar,
Yes, teacher.
salah
Yes.
ni Amar. Reflex
Oh,
action
salah ke?
are involuntary action. Thus, the sensory neurons do not pass directly into the brain, but synapse in the spinal cord. Synapse ni berlaku dekat mana?
Jadi teacher.
Kenapa Amar? Siapa lagi? Reflex action is an instantaneous, spontaneous, and automatic response without involving the brain. Thus, the reflex action takes place under the control of the spinal cord. Yes, kalau itu mak, siapa lagi teacher tak tengok?
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Reflex action are controlled by spinal cord. Therefore, most neurons are going to be received by spinal cord, not the brain. Okay, itu Max Mariam. Kamal. Because the impulse do not need to be interpreted by brain, this is called reflex action. Oh, tak habis lagi. Mulia tak habis. Nabil. Reflex action are involuntary, thus the nerve impulse are sent to the spinal cord and will not involve the brain. Okay, tu mak. Siapa lagi? Nick. Reflex, control by the spinal cord. Okay, so your point, you should have dua tau. The first you state that dia tidak, there is no control of brain. Satu, kena cakap pasal brain, and the other one, the voluntary action is controlled by the spinal cord. Bukan control. Okay, yang ni boleh lah ni. Mana. Sekejap. Farzana. Okay, tak apalah, ambil dia ni. Reflex section are controlled by peripheral. The brain does not need to interpret, involve, hence. Okay, betul. Dennis answer. Maksudnya you have to state it is not involve the brain dan this is the reflex action dekat spinal cord saja. Brain injury does not affect the reflex action, therefore spinal cord function to control reflex action. So Firas kena tambah dia tak perlukan ataupun no involvement of the brain. Tu je Okay, kita tengok soalan 2. Siapa yang dah buat soalan 2 tadi? Soalan 2. Explain why this person will not feel any sensation of the stimulus. Okay, the reason because the brain is control center for the human, therefore the stimulus cannot be interpreted. Dia tak rasa sensation. Oh, tak boleh nak ni. Dua sekejap apa tadi? Mana sekejap. An injured brain cerebrum is unable to receive stimulus from the receptor. An injured brain cerebrum is unable to receive the stimulus. Okay, memang dia tak dapat receive the stimulus dan dia tak dapat interpret and dia tak dapat respond to the stimulus sebab because of the brain injury. Sekejap, saya nak tengok pasal apa ni. Alisha. The reason is because the brain is the control center. Okay, so key point korang kena ada jawapan dia. Okay, since there is a brain injury, so the brain can neither detect the stimulus nor can respond to it. So the brain cannot detect the stimulus and cannot respond to it. Boleh Okay, soalan next page. Sekejap tengok. Okay, betul lah tu Farzana. Farzana's answer betul. Okay, now kita tengok the third page. Soalan D D number 1 and 2. Okay, mana dia? Okay, diagram 1.2 shows two types of neuron. Okay, neuron A is from the brain of a healthy 75-year-old man, and neuron B is from the brain of a 75-year-old man suffering from Alzheimer. So B yang kecil ni is the one coming from the Alzheimer disease person. Okay, A is a healthy man lah. Okay, state two differences between neuron A and B. So you have to have two differences between A and B. Ada 2 point And number 2, suggest 3 symptoms of Alzheimer's disease which likely arise from the appearance of neurons in individual B. So B, yang B ni, so you have to give 3 symptoms of Alzheimer's disease person, a person with Alzheimer. 3 symptom. Okay, buat Is this?
Teacher mic, teacher.
Sorry, teacher ingat to buka. Okay, then this answer is actually correct. There are more dendrites in neuron A than neuron B. Dendrites in neuron A is longer than dendrites in neuron B. Okay, 2 marks for Danny. That is the correct answer. Okay, betul lah ni. Danny's answer ni betul. Husna has higher number of dendrite. Okay, neuron A has longer. Okay, Husna pun betul juga. Kamal kosong lagi. Nick, Nisrin, Aisyah, Sofia. Neurons B, connections between networks of neurons have breakdown. Farzana, you can refer to Dennis or Husna's answer. Itu jawapan yang betul. Nabil, neuron A is fully functional and healthy neuron while neuron B is damaged. There are more dendrites in neuron A and B. The first point ni tak betul tau Nabil. Kena cakap more dendrites, lepas tu panjang dia. Tu je. Symptoms. Maria has a higher amount of dendrite, so have longer. Okay, teacher nak tengok symptom ni. Loss of ability to reason and recall memories. Ability to reason. Ini dah ada 2 point ni sebenarnya dia ni. Buat satu je. And ni reason and recall memories. So you are talking about memories lah ni. Okay, baru satu lah dia ni. Siapa? Azril tak ada. Ain. Adam. Oh, belum lagi. Aina, Akmal, Alisha. Forgetful, confused, lost ability to read. Confused. Alzheimer. Alzheimer ni nyanyuk kan? Betul tak? Forgetful, confused, lost ability to read. Forgetful, lose ability to walk and difficulty to eat. Betul, teacher tak dapat lagi jawapan yang betul-betul tepat. Alisha, Ashikin, loss of memory, lack of intelligence, lack of focus. Allah. Confused, forgetful. Show poor judgment or find it harder to make decision. Seperti tahu Amma.
On the way teacher. Nombor 1 tu sekejap.
Okay. Loss of ability to recall memories, motor functions such as walking and reading become worse. Okay, satu lagi dia ni. Lost ability to take care of oneself, forgetful, lost ability to make reasoning. Forgetful, lost ability to read and write. Dua baru ni semaya. Amir, memory loss, easily get confused. Rushda, confused, forgetful, disoriented, lose the ability to speak, lose the ability to read. Okay. So, lebih kurang je your answer. Loss of ability to read, loss of memory, disoriented even in a familiar place. Okay, most of you dapat 3 marks lah, disoriented. So first, memory loss or memory impairment. Second is loss of cognitive function. Korang cakap concentrating, confused. Okay, that is the loss of cognitive function. And number 3 is deterioration in speech. Korang cakap tadi, apa tadi? Mana je. Okay ni. Speech difficulties of speech. Deterioration in speech. Okay. So, dapat berapa markah korang out of 8 tadi? 8 Sekejap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ya ke? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12. 12 marks actually, 12 marks. So I hope, okay, teacher akan apa tadi, save semua. Mana. Okay, so I'm going to save all the whiteboard. Chapter 12. Nanti teacher akan send dalam group So we have done answering the question. So for your work, okay, I'm going to copy the link. Copy. Okay, I will give you okay, this is the objective question. There are 10 only regarding this chapter 12. Okay. So please do it as your homework. And I will give this link in the Telegram, our Telegram group too. Okay, so basically we have finished our class for today. So what have you learned today, class? What have you learned?
How our brains responds to stimulus.
Okay, how our brain responds to the stimulus. Okay, lagi kita belajar pasal apa hari ni? Ain. Belajar pasal apa lagi, Ain?
What the like parts of the brain and the functions of the certain parts of the brain.
Okay, so that are what you have learned today. So please answer the 10 question in the G form that I have pasted the link to. So dah pukul 1.25. Untuk yang offline class korang buat yang tu lah Okay, so thank you for joining today's class. So kita akan jumpa lagi next week. Next week we are going to have the bersemuka. Okay, kelas bersemuka for the group 1. So please make sure that you take good care of yourself. Okay, take a good care of yourself. Practice the good hygiene dekat rumah. Okay, so I think I should end our class. So thank you for joining today's class. So see you next week. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
Okay, bye.
madam.
Thank you,
Okay,
Thank you,
Alicia,
teacher.
you too take
Thank you,
care.
teacher.
Okay, bye. Welcome.
Money. Tengok money. Money.
Makan. Nom 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 nom
Sambil makan ayam, guys.
nom nom nom.
Bird. Bird. Ha. Okay, you. What is that? The f- that?
From auntie. This answer is actually correct.